Hey, what's up, my podcast family? What is going on? What is going on? This is your host. I am Brittany, your motivational speaker, your mentor, as well as your life coach. Happy Wednesday to everyone. It is hump day. It's Wednesday night here. It's almost midnight, y'all. I be up getting it in, been putting some work in. As always, we have to, right? We have to get to it. We got to make sure we good. We got to make sure our family's good. We got to make sure we taking care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, all that good stuff. So I'm up. It's late here where I am in Georgia. And I was just sitting here and I was thinking, I had wrote down a couple of topics that I wanted to go over, what I wanted to talk about in the podcast. But then I was like, I just was sitting here. I was like, God, what would you have me to speak to the people today, to my podcast family today? What can I speak about today? And so I started to just go back over my life and just examine and re-examine, my life and the things that I've been through, the things I've overcome, and, just different things that I've had go on in my life. And one thing I stopped at was, being a mother. Being a mother, I stopped right there. I was like, it just kept coming back to me. Motherhood. So that is what I'm here to talk about today. And listen, for you men out there, I know this ain't about y'all. It's not about the fathers tonight. We're going to talk about the mothers, and we're going to talk about single motherhood tonight. And that is something that I have, of course, I've been through, I've seen, I've lived, and it has its ups and downs. It has its challenges. It has its obstacles. It has so much, in that whole frame of being a mom, period. And it's whether you're a single mom or not, if you have a husband or a spouse or boyfriend, it still can be very difficult. And people always think that, oh my God, it's just so hard being a single mom. It's like, it can be hard being a mother, period, whether you are single or not. But one thing that I have also learned is that I've been telling people, even when I was teaching in my purity group a couple of weeks ago and throughout that whole 9 week, is that when I introduce myself to everyone, it's like, yeah, I'm a single mom in the physical, but spiritually, I am not alone. And I had to come to realize that I am a single mom in the physical. So the world sees me as a single mother. The world defines me as a single mom because I'm not married. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not engaged or anything like that. So the world would say, oh, she's a single mom. And, she's a single mom because that's what they see in the physical. But one thing I know is that God has been with me throughout this whole process as being a mother, as being a single mom, again, in the physical. I'm not a single mom, and you are not. Any single mothers that are out here listening, you are not a single mom in the spiritual. God is with you. I can remember a time where I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I was rolling down the street, pushing my oldest son in a stroller to take him to daycare. And I was pregnant. I would get on the bus, public transportation to get to college. I was going to school. So I had to take one to the daycare, and then I was pregnant with my youngest son. And it was the hardest thing ever. It was not easy at all because, again, I didn't have transportation of my own. I had to take public transportation. I did not have, the means to get a car. I was working and going to school. I was working a job and going to school to a certain extent because eventually I had to stop because, I got bigger, and then plus it was getting close to time to have the baby, and I was putting a lot of stress on myself and the baby. So, eventually I had to stop working, but I worked all the way up until, when I was pregnant with my youngest son, I worked all the way up until like a day or two prior to me going into the hospital because I was just that determined. I was just that, hungry for what it is I wanted. And when I got pregnant with my youngest son, I was a little upset because I wasn't upset that I was just pregnant. It was just the fact that I was hurt that I hadn't even had a college education. I hadn't even gotten a car. I hadn't even got my license. I haven't even really started building my life. And so I was just so upset about that. And then at the time, with their father, which is a whole nother story that I don't really want to get into right now, the situation between us wasn't good at all. So I was very hurt. I was very upset. And I just knew that I had to do something. I had to get myself up and start making moves so that I can be able to provide for my two sons. And I did just that. And it was not easy at all. But as I look back, I say that to say is that as I look back, God was with me. He was with me every step of the way. I would get up early in the morning before the sun was even up to get myself dressed, to get my oldest son dressed, to be able to walk, smoothly and peacefully down the road. I won't have to rush because the daycare literally sat. It took me, walking is a little bit longer, 10 to 15 minutes to walk to the daycare, but driving there was like nothing. You can blink one time and you was there, but walking seemed to be longer. So I did have support from my mom and my stepdad. They supported me so much, just walking. And I remember just when the bus would come, I was trying to run and catch the bus, and I'm pregnant, and I would stay up late at night studying for my exams and, going to work and things like that. I would literally be asleep at the table. I will never forget one time I was sitting at the table. My head was down on the kitchen table at my mom's house. And she was like, girl, you got it. You sleep. I was like, yes, ma'am, I'm asleep. But I was so determined. I was so driven to want something out of life. I didn't want to just have, I got 2 kids. And I was like, I don't want to be this woman that's having all these children. And then I haven't even done anything with my life. I was determined. But who put that hunger in me? Who put that drive in me? Who gave me the vision? Where did that vision come from? Yes, we can have a sense of, I got to do something, I got to make moves, but God he's always with us. He always give us that vision. Those things that we daydream about, that's God letting us know where we will be going, where we'll end up at, the ultimate goal for our lives, the ultimate vision for our lives. He will give that to you. So I say all these things to say, if you are a single mom right now and you feel like this is too much, I can't get up, I'm trying to take care of this, it's so hard. And let me say this, it is very difficult. It is not an easy task. It's not easy. And I'm telling you right now, if you've been single for a while, even if you are in a relationship, even if you are married, it is still difficult. It is not easy because both of you are not going to be there all the time. Somebody got to go to work. Somebody's shift is going to be late at night. And I'm saying this because, again, I was married too. I've been there. So the shifts are not going to be the same. You might be going to work early. He might be at work late, which means you got to get off from work. You got to get the baby bathed, cleaned up, fed, spend time with the child. Plus, you got to get yourself together. So it's not an easy task. It makes it a little bit lighter when you have a spouse or a husband or something of that nature. If you have someone like that, it makes the load a little bit lighter, but it's still not an easy task. I want you to know something as a single mom who could be listening to this podcast right now, or whenever you are come across this. I want you to understand this one thing. Not one thing. I'm sorry. I want you to understand a couple of things. And as being a single mom, I want you to know that, number one, you keep God first in everything you do. Keep him in the loop of your parenting. Keep him in the loop of, just being with you and strengthening you when times get hard, when challenges come, when your child is acting up, getting disrespectful. You might have a baby that is sick and going through teething stages, and you got a son that just showing out at school. I want you to know that you got to pray and give those things to God. Always talk to God and let him know, Lord, my son, he acting up today. God, I need your strength. God, I need your mercy. I need your grace. Lord, speak to me. What shall I do? Should I handle the situation? Always keep him in the midst, because he will never leave you or forsake you. And he's always there with you. Remember, you are a single mom in the physical, but spiritually you are not alone. God has you. He's with you, because God carried me through all those things that I was going through as a single mom of my 2 sons. I'm a single mom now of 3 children. I have 2 boys and 1 daughter. But at that time in my life now with my daughter is totally different than what it was when I had my sons. And I speak on that because I remember that season so well. It was so hard. It was so difficult. There was times where I just felt like, oh my God, this is a lot. I had two boys in diapers at the same time. They were basically like twins. But when I look back now and just sit here thinking about it now, as I speak now, God carried me through. He got me to where I am today throughout all of that struggle, that pain, not having enough money to get diapers and borrowing money here. I mean, so much transpired. So many things happened, but God was with me every single time. If he wasn't, I wouldn't be where I am today. My sons they're 12 and 10. My 10-year-old will be 11 in December. They're big boys. And guess what? They help me. My youngest son, y'all, he can put up a TV. He can set up your internet. He can take out trash. He can do a lot. My oldest son, same way. Can take out trash, can fix stuff, can put stuff together. God gave you those kids for a reason. So you got to nurture them. You got to take care of them. You got to listen to them. You got to be in tune with them. Like right now, I have a preteen. So I'm in tune with the fact that, okay, so he really be on the phone all night long and he really want to sleep all day long. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So always keep God in the midst and he will always be there. I want you to do another thing. Number 2, I want you to take time out for yourself as much as you can. Even if it's inside the house. When the kids go to sleep, turn you on some soft jazz music. Take you a nap if you can when they nap. If you got little ones, if you have someone to watch them, have your parents or your whoever you have, your support system to watch them. And you say, I'm going to go take me a walk today. I'm going to go to the nail salon. I'm going to get me a massage. Always make time for yourself. Because if you don't, it makes the journey, oh my God, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So always take time out for yourself. Always, find the things that you like to do and take up time to do them. Okay. Always. Number 3, get around some people who are single mothers, but successful single moms. Because you have single mothers that are out here that's just like, it is what it is. I ain't studying this. I ain't worried about that. Come get these kids today, tomorrow, yesterday, and every day after. Then you have some successful single moms who are, practicing and striving and thriving for purity. They're not here and there, sleeping around here and there. They're raising their children. They're not in the streets all the time. They're not in the club all the time. Yes, I'm not saying that as a single mom, you can't go to a club because I know that's what some people still do, but they have some respect on it. They're not out here just wilding out. They trust in God. They believe in God. God is leading them. God is giving them the instructions. They have a relationship with God. Surround yourself around those type of moms. And let me say this also. It doesn't have to be a single mother. It can be a married mother. I have plenty of married mother friends. I would say two. I think I'm just scanning through my head, y'all. Hold on a second. 2. I would say, I think it's 2. Yeah. 2 married mothers that I talk to all the time. And we talk about motherhood don't get me wrong. There are times where I feel like we can't relate because it's like, you don't understand my struggle. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand like what I have to go through versus but just because it's a little different, it doesn't mean you guys can't communicate because at the end of the day, you are parents. You are a mom. So surround yourself around some successful mothers, whether they're single or married. And if they're married, especially, I would suggest this. If they're single, they need to be, of course, aligned with God. They need to be, thriving in their purity. They need to be, really having this relationship with God and having him to be the head of their house and their lives. And if you have married mother friends, which is always good because you can always look up to them as an example being a married woman. God places people in your life for a reason. He places people on your path for a reason. And sometimes we want to get in the trap of comparison, which is from the enemy. That's what the enemy wants you to do. But in reality, God puts people in your life so you can see how it's really done. So you can see how marriage really is and how co-parenting really is and how it is to be a blended family. All different things God will begin to show you and reveal to you because it's a process and it's a journey that you're going to go on and you're going to eventually reach the place where he was trying to take you to. And that's never ending. That's always. I think that's constant. Destiny is just not a one-stop shop. Destiny is a lifelong journey. And to fulfill a complete destiny and to be where you need to be, heaven is where it's at. Heaven is where it's at. So I just wanted to encourage you as mothers today. And I say this is specifically for my single moms because I know how hard it is to be a single mother. It is not an easy task, as I said before, especially if you have more than one kid. It's not easy, but I want you to know something. I want you to start speaking this out your mouth and from your mind and from your soul and heart is that you are not a single mom in the spiritual. I want you to say that God is with me raising my children. I will win. And that is the truth. That is the absolutely truth. You are not alone spiritually. Physically, you may feel like it. It may look like it. But always keep God in the loop. Always find you something fun to do. Make time for yourself. Get yourself a schedule for yourself, for your children. Teach them something. Embrace them. Find different things they like to do. Y'all do them together. Soak that time up in this season. Soak it up. And God is going to map and lay everything out the way it should be. I know this because I have seen it and have walked through it. I thought I was doomed, stuck, broke, busted, and disgusted. And God said he is not through with me. Get those kids, raise them up, do what you're supposed to do. And I'm right here. And that's what I want you all to understand. Being a single mom, it can be very successful. You got single mothers that have their own business, they have their own mentorship groups and nonprofit organizations. They have so many different things going for themselves. You can do that also. You have the capability to do all of those. You have the abilities, the capabilities, the knowledge. You have everything that you need to be successful in all areas. Just because you're a single mom, it doesn't mean that you can't go out there and get that degree, because I did it. I got it. And if I can do it with no car, not my own place, walking up and down the street to put my child in daycare and catching a bus every morning and every evening to get me a college education, to get me some type of education, you all can do it too. It's no limit to it. Knowledge is free. Can't nobody take knowledge from you. You don't even have to spend a whole lot of money on knowledge. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on knowledge. You can have self-development courses through podcasts, YouTube, and mentorship groups. Just work on developing yourself as a single mom. Single, you alone, you're not tied down with anyone, but God is there. He will help you get to the next level. He will help you to be prosperous. He knows the plans that he has for you. As I say all the time, not evil, not even harm, but for you to grow and to be the best version of yourselves. Always understand that. You may be single in the physical, but you got somebody in the spiritual. So walk with him. Y'all stay up. I enjoy y'all so much. Y'all stay up. Y'all have a good night. Get you some rest. And I will talk to you later.